What is up, mga kaserye? It's your boy Senor, and for today's episode, we will be reviewing one of the best-selling scooters of Honda Motors. From its original success in the 125cc to the current 150cc, the Honda Click has been a staple name in the scooter industry. And now there is a new addition to the Click family, the Click 160. So before you go out and start spending your hard-earned money and trying to get the scooter, let's talk about the specs, the features. We'll also compare it to the Click 150. So if ever that you are a Click 150 owner and you have plans to upgrade, is it worth it? Or if you're just basically interested in trying to get the scooter, let's determine if this is the right one for you. Let's get right into it. In terms of design, I'm glad to see that the Click 160 has been redesigned in terms of form and structure. Comparing that to the Click 125 and the Click 150, which practically looks almost identical with a difference in terms of power and engine, the new Click 160 is now beefier, chunkier, and now has more of a sporty, futuristic kind of look. And right off the bat, you can already determine that you're looking at a Click 160. Now in terms of color availability, as of now, it is currently available in matte pearl crater white, matte gunpowder black metallic, and matte solar red metallic. In terms of the engine, the new Click 160 is now powered by a 157cc fuel-injected, single-cylinder, 4 strokes, liquid-cooled, and now it comes with 4 valves engine similar to the PCX 160. On top of that, it also comes with Honda's ESP, or Enhanced Smart Power, that gives you better acceleration and at the same time better fuel consumption. In terms of the power output, originally the Click 150 has 13 horsepower at 8,500 RPM, while the new Click 160 is at 15 horsepower at 8,500 RPM. In terms of its maximum torque, originally the Click 150 is at 13.4 Newton meters of torque, while the new Click 160 is at 13.8 Newton meters of torque, which means that the bigger engine can guarantee you faster acceleration and at the same time power sustainability, especially during those long distance destinations. Moving on to the gas tank, unfortunately, despite having a bigger engine and more valves, the Click 160 is still packed with the same 5.5 liter gas tank as the Click 150. Now in terms of fuel consumption, Honda claims the new Click 160 would have an average fuel consumption of about 47 kilometers per liter, comparing that to the 53 kilometers per liter of its predecessor. In terms of the lights, this is one of the major redesign that happened to the Click 160. The new setup is more towards a futuristic contemporary look, with a daytime running lights that runs through almost the entirety of the face, with an additional fairing to cover a part of it for aesthetics. And one good thing about this one is that all of the lights for both the headlight, the turn signal lights, and even the tail lights are now made up of LED lights, and this can guarantee you longevity of use. Moving on to the seat height, the Click 160 is a tad taller than its predecessor. In terms of the ground clearance, originally the Click 150 is measured at 132 millimeters, while the Click 160 is now at 138 millimeters. In terms of the seat height, the Click 150 is measured at 769 millimeters, while the Click 160 is at 778 millimeters. Just to give you an idea, I'm only 5'6" tall, and this is how I look like on the scooter. And as you can notice, I'm a little bit tiptoed to keep my feet both flat on the ground. Now on the lighter note, the advantage of having higher ground clearance would be it would be a lot easier for you to maneuver through uneven pavements or even enjoy a little bit of off-road adventure. Moving on to the braking system, the Click 160 shares a similar setup as its predecessor. It still comes with a single disc hydraulic brakes in the front. Meanwhile, for the rear, we have a mechanical drum brake. And unfortunately, as of now, there is no ABS variants available for this model. What's available is the CBS variants, or the Combi Braking System. And how that works is that whenever you use the left hand brake, 70% of the rear brakes and 30% of the front brakes will engage, giving you that extra braking power, especially when you need it the most. Moving on to its wheels, the Click 150 and the Click 160 shares the same 14 inches mags with a difference in tire profile. For the front tires, originally the Click 150 is sized at 90 by 80 by 14, while the Click 160 is at 100 by 70 by 14. Meanwhile, for the rear tires, the Click 150 was measured at 100 by 80 by 14, while the new Click 160 is at 120 by 70 by 14. Now their larger tire profile may be a little bit heavier compared to the Click 150, but it could definitely give you better stability while on the road. Moving on to the suspension, it's also something that they share the same with the Click 150. They still have a telescopic front suspension. Meanwhile, for the rear, you have a swing arm suspension, and this one is a mono rear suspension. And if ever that you feel that the stock rear suspension is a little bit on the stiffer side, there are a lot of the aftermarket suspensions you can buy to make the experience a lot smoother. Now in terms of the seat, I'm glad to see that for the new Click 160, it's now beefier for both the rider and the pillion seat, giving you more comfort, especially during long distance destination. The materials used is made out of a high quality textured leather with highlights on the stitching, giving you that overall premium and elegant look. Speaking of seats, let's talk about the storage underneath. Unfortunately, the Click 160 still has the same 18-liter storage capacity as the Click 150, and at this size, this is unable to fit most of the half-face helmet. Now, there may be some helmets that could fit in depending on the design and the size of the shell, but majority wouldn't fit in. On top of that, there are two other storages that you can find. One is a right side pocket that's deep enough for you to hold a few of your belongings, and on the left side you can find your glove compartment with a cover that houses your phone charger. The great part about this one is that the phone charger is now USB ready, and you no longer need a separate adapter for you to be able to use that to charge your mobile phone while on the go. In terms of the panel gauge, they also share the same design as its predecessor. It's still a fully digital panel gauge with a few icons on top, giving you details about the situation of your motorcycle, like your check engine, your high and low, the temperature, your signal lights, and a lot more. Now the details that you can find on the digital panel would be your gas meter, your odometer, your trip meter, even the time and other information. There are two buttons to control the details and what you can see on the screen, and you can find that right below the digital panel gauge. Moving on to the ignition, the new Click 160 is now keyless, and it comes with two key fobs right off the bat. And the great part is that it now comes with a built-in answer back and a built-in anti-theft system that you can definitely utilize whenever you need to. Especially if you're the type of person who always forgets where you park your motorcycle. Just use the answer back system and it will emit a sound for you to be able to find where you parked it. And last on our list is the spacious gulay board that you can put in most of your belongings, especially when you're going to the grocery store, the supermarket, or the stuff that you have for work. And it also comes with 2 carabiner hooks that you can use to secure those belongings while in transit. The SRP of the Click 160 is at $116,900, and it's now available in almost all of the local authorized motorcycle dealers. Now, mga kasedyo, with all of the specs and features that we just discussed, do you think that the Click 160 is worth the upgrade? Let me know in the comment section below. And if ever that there are other motorcycles you'd like me to review, please give me a heads up and we'll find time to do so. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is your boy, Senor. Remember to always ride safe and don't forget to pray before you drive. Until the next area, Senor is now signing off.